Hello there, my adorable internet and beautiful creatures of the VM. I want today to play around with, um, well, technically it's a missing tool because most of the vector software out there have it, and they're called brush presets or brush strokes or whatever you want to call them. There are some brushes in Inkscape, but not as defined as you would find them in the Affinity Vector one or um, the Photoshop one, Illustrator. So before we start with this, I want to update you guys on what I've been doing on the ballerina. It's been slow progress and I've had a lot of trial and error. So this is our subject. We go more in view. So I'm gonna disable the overlay of the image to see what I've been working, and ta-da! I've been doing a lot of trial and error on this, on the eyes, and it was very difficult to get it correct. There's still a lot of details that need to dress up this part of the face, and it would look more natural at the end. But as you can see, there is quite a bit of work left there. And if we're going to disable the underlayer of the image, this is what we're left with. Well, slow progress, but we're getting there. Uh, I don't want to rush this project. This is gonna be like a vanity project, as people love to call it. So I'm just gonna leave this as where it is right now. Don't save. Close without saving, I said. Okay, so back to our brushes. Now, this is just a shape I randomly designed. It's nothing special. And we have the calligraphy tool that has some presets over here. Like if we go with no preset, we can see that we get some interesting designs. Um, you have, well, calligraphy tool is really good, especially with a tablet. Let me see, tracing. Tracing is really nice. Which one? Splotch. This one is a little weird, but this is more like Japanese style. If you want to write like Japanese style, yeah. So really interesting things. Whoops, did the squiggly line over here. Didn't want to do that. And yeah, then you have the pencil tool, who has some sort of presets, but not that great, in my opinion. Then the one that I highly recommend is the Bezier tool. So we have here, oh, I still have stuff left on the screen. Any more remnants? No? Okay, let's save. So we have this normal line here, and let's say I'm gonna copy it, yeah? And now I can go into, well, actually, before we even start with that, let's look at the presets. Here we can kind of select if we want to make more smooth lines and so on. But we have a few options here, like triangle in. Triangle in means that if we're gonna go like so, for example, I don't know, weird lines. Oh, um, let me try like that. Why are you doing this? Oh, I see. I see. Well, it's not working as intended. Ah, come on. Cooperate with me. Yeah, it's closing the loop for some reason, which isn't so great. Ah, there we go. Now it works. So if we do this, and if we just try to push this line, we see that it creates this interesting pattern. So it makes it thicker here and thinner over here. If we go with triangle out, it's going to be the opposite. If I can activate the correct settings. And there are various ways you can play with. Here you can change the angle and so on. Then you have, I think this one is my favorite in my opinion, the Eclipse one. Because it goes thinner, thicker, then thinner again. So it's a neat little way to play with lines. Now, these presets by themselves are actually activated here. It's pattern along path. And I usually just use this option directly instead of using the default presets, mainly because I have more control over here of what I want to do. There are various ways. This tool is very useful if you want to learn it. It can create some really amazing patterns and stuff in the long run. And right now we're just using a single stretched one, but we can use repeat or, well, repeating doesn't work on this one because we're just making, we automatically created this sort of shape. Well, it's an ellipse actually. And single stretched is the way to go. And if we go with repeated, it just repeats this, and you can change the angle and many things. And repeat stretched is just making it distorted a bit. Well, it's not a very obvious setting. Okay, so with this in mind, knowing that we can do these things, what we can do is just delete this, and we're gonna take this shape over here. And now we also have the option from clipboard. So if I copied this, yeah, copy. And now if I go in my Bezier tool, and if I start doing this, oh, it looks horrible. Obviously. Let's try a bit more. Yeah, so it's doing stretched. And it looks very horrible from many points of view. You just have to kind of play with the thickness to kind of get a better design. So let's try another one. Yeah, much better now. See, it's the longer it's stretched, the more defined it becomes. You can also do closed loops like so. It looks really nice. And the really cool about this thing is, like, let's take this shape here. I'm gonna copy it. And now if I go to my Bezier and still being from clipboard, if I do a straight line, tada, it's just doing this one instead of the original. And now if I try to do more articulated shapes, it's, well, this one isn't looking too great because I bend it too much. But it defines the curves a bit stronger. Oh, I don't know, for some reason I got stuck at, maybe I'm at the maximum resolution. Zoom out, sorry. Anyway, so there are a few neat tricks to play with this. And another interesting thing is that if you copy this and you go to bend from clipboard, if you're gonna do a straight line, it's gonna, well, it's doing it correctly now. Well, bend from clipboard makes this instead of pattern along path. Well, it's still using pattern along path, but this one just uses pattern, this one uses bend as well. There's just tiny differences here and there. I don't particularly use brushes like this, and there is no way from my knowledge to store them anywhere. But you can do like a set of brushes that you enjoy working with, and you save them in a file, and then you can import them in whatever project you want, and you can create whatever shapes. So obviously this isn't a great example of what you can do with this. So I'm just gonna show you something that I've been working on. It's a very timid little project. So I made a very rough outlined. Well, no, this is just the image. So let's go to my, oops, not stroke. Let's go to our layers. And this layer is the image. I'm gonna disable it. And if we enable what I have done, it's more or less sort of like a painting. So you can achieve some interesting designs doing this. This is very crude. I even added a frame to make it look a bit more appealing. But the more you go in, obviously, you start to see all of the crudeness in the design and in the strokes. But the idea is that you have, well, I created the shape, and then I created the outline. And I used, believe it or not, these brushes, which look really weird and ugly, in my opinion, how I designed them initially. But look what it created. So basically, if I'm gonna use, well, let's take this one because it's smaller. Size matters. So the bigger it is, well, then you can still edit it in your path effects. But the point is, let's go with from clipboard. The point is this. Actually, no. I'm going to show you another way. We're going to go with none. And I'm going to create a shape like so. No. Let's say it's still whatever, the same apple, whatever. And now we can just duplicate this. Yeah. Let's remove the outline. And now I'm just gonna go and, oh, I'm gonna take this. And I can go here in my first one. And all I can do is go to this, select this. Oh, I don't have it selected. Then go to pattern along path. And I just apply it, past path. Boom. And now it just creates the outline. And in order to have a standard shape, well, you can still play here. Like you can go with, let's say, 10. 10 is a lot, but maybe 2. Let's see. 2 is too refined. 0.5 is too small. So 1 is just perfect. Then you have spacing, which doesn't do much unless you activate this. So let's try 1. Oh. Well, whatever. You can play around with these things and create more complex designs. So after you have your shape here, you can combine it with this, and it will disable the path effect because it will create it as a normal path now. And from here you can play like with gradients and with your blurs. Oh, that's too strong. So you can make interesting stuff like this. This could be a pitch. We can create pitches. So yeah, and I also tried to make the background a bit snappy. Let me disable these brushes here and this frame. So this is like a free layer thing. So you have your noise, and then you have this. Well, this is not noise. This was, I think, if we look at our filters, this was a swirl, and the other one is a film grain. So yeah, I just created this idea of that this looks more like canvas-like. Give it a bit of light in there, of life, sorry. And yeah, simple but effective. So you can find appliances for it to look amazing if you want to do something fast. Well, this is just the frame is just a normal PNG, so that's that. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this little exposition of mine. I'm gonna upload this Apple with the links to the designated GIFs and whatever else I used. And hope you guys enjoyed and you create your own beautiful apples. Stay awesome, guys. See ya. Bye 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 bye.